Women Tools Technology, Building Opportunities and Economic Power is an innovative online challenge that identified transformative solutions for promoting women's economic advancement through technology, with a focus on women from developing countries. Sponsored by Ashoka's Changemakers and ExxonMobil in partnership with the International Center for Research on Women, the challenge sourced 268 entries from 67 countries. Efforts are part of ExxonMobil's Women's Economic Opportunity Initiative, which has invested more than $32 million since its launch in 2005. On June 2nd, 10 finalists were chosen by an expert panel of judges. From now until June 22nd, anyone can vote on their 3 favorite finalists at changemakers.com/technologywomen. The winners will be announced June 29th and will be invited to participate in collaboration workshops, which will connect innovators with potential partners and include visits to promising projects. Today, we are joined by Sheila Krumholz, the Executive Director of the Center for Responsive Politics at OpenSecrets.org. We're speaking with Sheila today because she embodies the themes represented in the Women Tools Technology Challenge. I'd like to start off actually by asking a couple of questions from our Twitter community. One question is given all the work that you've done to marry technology with political transparency, we want to know if you could offer some insights and advice as to how to implement these methods in nations that have more recently embraced democracy, and what types of strategies do you think private sector, governmental, and financial analysts can take to make the political and economic processes more transparent in their countries and regions?
Well, at CRP, we really are in the right place at the right time. I mean, for us, we're very cognizant of how fortunate we are to be focused on the data after disclosure was very firmly established in our country legally and legislatively, and while technology was ascendant. So we couldn't do what we do without having access to the information, first and foremost. And while there are still battles to be waged to release the data and improve how it's reported and provided, we don't have nearly the legwork required that they do at the state level in the United States or in many countries abroad, where they're burgeoning democracies. So that if the data is not yet provided, then the press, the citizens, the NGOs need to begin by demanding it. If they are ignored, they need to, I think, invest in the long haul and begin to build a transparency movement to create that public mandate. The good news is that while many issues divide us, our organizations, our countries, even transparency may seem to be kind of a safe one, even innocuous to many. So, of course, it's not. It's actually a very powerful weapon for citizens and a cornerstone of a successful democracy. And it's a work in progress. The United States may be one of the older democracies, but it's by no means finished ever. It requires constant work and constant vigilance. So this is, I think, has to be the starting point. As far as strategies for private sector, governmental, and financial analysts, I think one thing I wanted to talk about is collaboration. Technology is changing everything. The ground is moving minute by minute, and so we are. And also, of course, the economy has changed a lot for our country, for the world, for our organization, and so we're really looking to a different strategy moving forward that is much more collaborative and using technology to leverage partnerships that would not have been possible in some cases, or would not have been really on the front burner for our organization in the past. We're kind of at a turning point, frankly, in our development, in our history, and it's really centered on technology.
Now, given that, and a couple of the points that you were making there, you mentioned the economy, you mentioned a number of potential hurdles and obstacles. What are some of those challenges that you find right now?
Mm-hmm. I think risk taking is a big part of it. Also, just gathering information on the opportunities that are available to us. We as an organization, I think many organizations and individuals out there are drinking from the fire hose on all of the innovations and constantly changing opportunities with technology. And so we're trying to continue our core operations, continue maintaining our work and providing our website and our outreach at the same time that we are trying to find out how we can do what we do more effectively, more efficiently, more cheaply. And an essential piece of that is more collaboratively, because we know we can't do everything ourselves, nor do we want to, and we want to take advantage of the requests that we get for collaboration and leverage the organizations that approach us and that we want to work with, leverage their audiences to disseminate our data far more widely. We're, part of the shift in our history is based on kind of in the past being very narrowly focused on the press. And of course, we all know what's happening with the press. It's just undergoing such a seismic change, and that has had an impact, a ripple effect going out and on NGOs like us. And we also see, and it's been a challenge to grapple with those changes, but it's also been an opportunity, because we see that we have built a foundation based on the press. We've disseminated our data and our research far more widely than we ever could have as a small organization based just in DC. And so we have, I think, achieved our goals, which originally were to get news organizations to create their own kinds of similar databases, to do this research on their own. Well, that didn't work exactly as we planned, but they did become more interested in and incorporate our research on a day-to-day basis in their news reports and analyses. So we have, I think, developed a very solid foundation of credibility, which is essential for the nature of the work we do. And we can now take that and pivot to reach out to a much broader array of organizations and directly to individuals using technology in ways that were not possible, of course, back in the 80s when we got started, or even the early 90s, or even the late 90s. But now is really essential to take the next to really successfully navigate the next stage of our development. And so it's an incredibly exciting time, I think, for all organizations interested in leveraging technology, especially social media, and especially those in the field of transparency.
Now, when you mention transparency, and another question from the community is, when you think about that and information regarding, say, even international politics, do you know, are there any players that come to mind on the world stage? Is there anybody that you think would come close to doing what you do with an international or regional focus? Do you find kind of peers out there and for potential collaborations or as a means of comparing, contrasting, and exchanging ideas?